Here it's recording now, and also I'm going to record in the, let me close this. Guys, there is one fly, big fly here. Okay, start recording, right? Okay guys, so it's recording now. I hope you guys can see my screen yet. Not yet? You can see, right? It's okay. Yeah. Okay, good enough, so we have this, I was just going to use a mouse, right? I'm not going to use my pad, writing pad. Just going to use mouse. That will be, hope that, I think, will be okay, right? So the first question here, right? I'm going to write everything in RESTful API. So when you go to the MERN stack, right here, I can hear some noise, sound. Okay, I think someone mic was on, right? Maybe like some kind of plane flying. Okay, so anyway, you can look at the MERN stack folder, right? And then inside you're gonna go to the class and the REST API, and today class recording also will be here, right? Normally, okay, I think done now, right? Yeah. So the REST API folder, you're gonna see the details, right? Even in our recording, you're gonna find here in the README file. Okay, I'll just add it here. So every class, right? If not, what I will do, let's see, we had the main folder here, right? Last time, remember, for the Node.js, I added all the video here, right? So if someone is still looking for that, you can just check in the folder, just try to look here, right? And you're gonna get the YouTube videos, okay? Our recording, if I record, right? So you're gonna find, let's see, document, yeah, that there was a two video, okay? Class 1 and class 2 from the last time, right? So now, okay, so let's get back to our work now. Creating RESTful API using Node.js and Express. So why, right? Why? What is the, concept here? What is the concept? Okay, so when we start learning, let's talk about what is the concept. RESTful API, that is the concept we're gonna learn, right? And how now? How we can understand what is RESTful API, okay, and what it does, right? So the definition, you can maybe, okay, let's write it here, right? So REST means what? Representation. See, this little difficult, right? Representational state transfer. Okay, representational. I have difficulty pronounce, so hopefully someone can help me. Okay, REPRE, right? SENTATIONAL. Okay, and then state transfer. TRANS transfer. So we can understand this, right? What is that means? Okay, why we call the REST the representational state transfer? Why we call that one, right? What is, what is that meaning? What is the meaning of this? Okay, maybe in the interview, right, they will ask you what is the meaning of a REST. You're gonna just say representational state transfer, right? But maybe they will ask you to explain it a little bit, right? Give the idea what that means. Okay, so they normally there is a interview question, something like that. Okay, so that's the full form, right? And we can call it is an API, right? API that basically defines a set of function. Okay, a set of function, right? That programmers, right, can use to send and request, right? Requests, basically send request, we can call it send request, right? And then receive. Okay, So basically sending the request and receiving the request, also receiving the data right back. Okay, and receive a response basically. So we have response and request. I mean, you have seen on our API right before when you study in the class in the callback function. Response. Okay, response. And what is used on the back? Using STTP, right? STTP protocol. STTP, we can call it protocol, you know, which is provided by the Node.js, right? Methods, okay. Methods, and I think we can just write the methods, right? Like get, post, what else? Post, put, and delete. Clear? So that is the meaning, right? Mostly of the REST. Okay. So REST API is used for, you're gonna write a set of function, the rules, right? Function that is called rules also, and that function is going to do the communication between two applications. Okay, application 1 and application 2, for sending data, receiving data, updating data, deleting data, all that. Okay, and that's what we're gonna understand. That is all about RESTful API, right? So before we move to the RESTful API, I think it's time, right, to understand everyone. So today class will be a little bit odd, right? I mean, you know, we're going to talk about a lot of things, so just listen, right, and then you know, try to understand. That's it. So let's say, what is the difference, right? Difference between website and web application. Anyone? So difference between website and web application. Anyone want to talk about the website and web application?
I think a web application is kind of like what we create in React, where we have just one page with multiple components, and then our website has multiple web pages put together.
So no, not, I mean, you can create website and web application. You can create anything in the React. Okay, even you can create a website and web application both, right? Okay, let's let's think like this. The website is basically the static site where there is the, let's say, school website, right? Once you create, maybe you're never gonna go update, and there is no interaction. Means somebody will not go and log in and then post comment, you know, put maybe add blogs or post photo, scroll through other people comments and all that, right? So that is website, the data which is never changed, right? You create a website, let's say company needs just the 5-page website to display the information. Okay, so that is static website. It look like you just storing some information somewhere in the cloud, somewhere in the server, right? To people see that. Okay, just people go through and just watch the information. That's it. That is website. Means static. Data is not changing on regular basis. Once in a while you're gonna just update according to the company needs, right? Just go and upgrade the website, but that is still the static site. Now in web application now, right? The web application, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever now, right? You see there. Okay, so that is web application. People, millions of people can log in and constantly adding things, right? And it constantly updating same time. Okay, you add something, same time it update, means that is web application. Okay, so there is a lot of communication, right? I mean, there is a lot of communication from the front end and the back end. Like back end is database, and the middleman, right, who handles all that communication is done through the RESTful API. Okay, the RESTful API is the one handling all this kind of work, right? So that is the, yeah.
Is it a web application if someone can make a booking on the website?
Yeah, that is also right. That is also, you can call it web application, because let's say the flight booking system, maybe, right? Someone build the flight booking system, or maybe even the hotel booking system, right? You have to constantly update. You have to constantly update the information. Maybe the how many rooms are empty there. Let's say, how many full, all the information, right? Still, that we can call it web application, because in the real time you are updating something. Okay, as long as you are updating real time, right? You go on, log into the online, and then just fill something out. You don't have to go and create website for that one. I mean, you don't have to open the VS Code and update. You have the content management system, right? Like form, just log into the dashboard and open that module, right? Whatever you want to do there, like add the extra rooms, or how many rooms are empty, just update it same time and it will be live, right? It's there already. So you can call it web application. That also has a web application. Okay, something, let's say, not changing in a long time, right? Maybe the blog sites you create once and just for reading purpose. Okay, but even blogs can be web application, because some blog site is constantly updating, right? Somebody updating, there will be the like a comment section where people can add comments, things like that. Okay, so that can be also web application. So it depends. Okay, it depends on the need, right? So now the question is, right nowadays, is web application taking over the web app, the website? Is that true or not? I mean, the web application is taking over the website. Is that true? How you can think of, right? I mean, everyone is talking about the web application, but is that true?
Yeah.
Okay, so Olibogang say yes, right? Anyone? Okay, so basically that is not true, right? You know why? In my opinion, right, if you need to kill an ant, you don't bring elephant. Okay, you can just blow the big air. You can just blow it and let the ant go away, right? So if you, for let's say simple site, the company need maybe 4 or 5 websites, you're not going to go and start building the whole back in, front in, and all that. Okay, if you just need to display some static page, right, 4 or 5 pages, just do that one. Okay, why we need to do all the hassle, right, and create and give a lot of things, okay, like back in, and then maybe you add a lot of people can log, whole application kind of thing, right? You don't do that one. Depends on the need and requirements, right? What is the purpose? Okay, so we have to understand the purpose of the work, what is their requirements, all that, right? And then you decide what you want to build. Okay, so that is important. So that's why we said don't bring elephant to kill the ant, right? I think that will be okay. So we just have to decide based on our need. Okay, so that is the website, right? So what else now? Let's see. Okay, let's now because we are going to, we are learning full stack development, right? So I believe it's time to understand web application and just divide, right, the different part of the web application. Okay, web application, let's try to divide and try to understand that part. So let me clean this up. Oh, okay, that's nice. So I will write, right, maybe let me write here, we can call it web application, and web application can have, so if this is a web application, right, so let's see. So in one web application, what are the things you can think of, right? I put 3 arrow here, so that might be like a front end, right? What else? We can call it back end here. I can write backend, and then what else we can say? So that will be database DB, right? Database. Okay, so front end, back end, and database. So who is front end now? Who gonna do the front end part, right? I mean, what you gonna learn to do the front end? So basically you're gonna have HTML, right? You learn HTML, then CSS normally, right? Oh my god, CSS. Then okay, let me write. Then you're gonna have maybe, let's say, React. What else? You can learn maybe Tailwind also, right? Tailwind. So HTML, CSS, React, Tailwind, these are the things you're gonna need to handle the front end. For backend, what is backend, right? So backend is basically you're gonna use Node.js, right? You're gonna use Express Node.js. You can call it Node.js Express, right? Then this is basically the brain, right? Brain of the app, okay? Where you write all the logic in the backend part, right? And then database is what? Just to store the data, right? Here you just storing the data. Store the data, right? Okay, and then let's say, so normally, right, in my view, I was reading one article, but it's some before they said like 50-50, okay? 50% of front end, you're gonna do the work of 50% front end, 50% back end and database, right? But nowadays it looks like 80% of work is done with the front end, almost 80%, right? Yeah, and then 20% will be the whole logic and back database, okay? I mean, here you just set up the schema, right? Just set up the database schema, and then you write all the logic, right, in your in the backend, okay? So in the backend now, to communicate with your database, right, and also you're gonna communicating with your front end. See, so that's why this is basically the brain of your application. Clear? So that's why, right, nowadays if you look at the job market, you know, most of the company now looking for the full stack developer. Why? Because somebody who knows Node.js, right? If you know Node.js Express and JavaScript, right? If you know Node.js Express, right? I mean, maybe database, some database also, right? And JavaScript JS, means you can work as a full stack developer, right? They don't have to hire someone to do this front end separately, back end separately. You know, they don't have to do that. If one company, right, let's say small company, I mean, and they need to do all this work, okay? If they can hire just one smart people who knows everything, you know, then that's enough to do the almost everything, right, in the company. Maybe he will take a month to create the whole application, and you know, but he must know back end, front end, and data, how to manage with the database as well, right? So that's what you guys are gonna do. And almost every startup nowadays, right, they will prefer to hire full stack developer with JavaScript skill. It's like 80 to 90% startup, right, hire full stack developer. You can search, right, the startup hiring ratio, right, in full stack development, JavaScript job or something like that, and you're going to see the percentage, you know. So that's our course, right, what we are doing here. Now let's move to the next thing, okay? Next thing is what? Let me check here in my note. Okay, so let me clean this up now. Oh, you know, it's nice, right? I just have to go like this, delete, delete. Okay, so I will click again here and we get all that writing pad, right? So API now, API, right? What is API now? API, anyone?
Application programming interface.
Application programming interface, right? So let's say this is two application. This is application 1, application 2. Okay, simple enough. So we can call it A1. Oh no, I need to. So A1, right? Application 1, and A2, that is application 2. Okay, so if these two applications need to talk to each other, how are you gonna do that? Through API, right? Through API. Okay, they can talk to each other through API. It does not matter which language, what, right? They just have to, they can use, both can have API, right? And they're gonna just communicate with each other. So that is possible through API only. So application programming interface, that's just a set of function. The what I said in RESTful API, right? That's same thing. So API, due to API, it is possible to communicate between two applications. So okay, that's fine, right? So RESTful API, okay. The why RESTful API is very famous, right? Why it is very famous means why it is used all over the industry. Because it's practical use, right? It's practical to use, easy to use, right? Very fast and flexible. Normally in the RESTful API, right, in JavaScript, they will ask you to use JSON file. The communication file is JSON, all your data will be stored in JSON format, right? And then you're gonna communicate. Maybe application 1 gonna have JSON file, JSON, right? JavaScript object, with the property and value, right? So just remember that string, whatever. So that is JSON file. So they will ask to use JSON. The main file is JSON file. The data will be in JSON format, but it's not limited. You can use XML or any other format also. That is also possible to use in the RESTful API, okay, for communication, right? So it's very practical, fast, flexible, and you can use JSON file, right? Okay, so next point you're gonna know is REST. When we talk about REST, right? REST, let's say REST is we learn about the REST already now, right? So the REST revolve or maybe involve around the work around the data. REST is all about doing something with the data. That's it. You have a RESTful API. What this one, just think, right, what it is doing now, what it is doing. Communication, right? Sending something, receiving something, request and response. Requesting something, right? Request something and getting response back. So you can say REST revolve around the resources, right? Resources, or you can call data, right? Okay. So the full form was what? The representational state transfer, right? So let's talk about this one now. Okay, let's talk about that. So representational state, just excuse me, okay, I cannot pronounce this one, right? Can you someone pronounce? It's very difficult for me, okay? I always get like uttering, right, when I pronounce this big word. So that I will put here. Represent, right? Representational state transfer. Okay, so state means what? The format, right? The position, right? Remember in React we have state of our variable, the same thing. So the state. So let's try to understand now, right? What is the meaning of this? And if you understand this one, then REST means you understand that also, right? So let's say we have a database, right? Database here, DB, you store something inside your database. In the database, the data might be in the form of binary system, binary or maybe something, right? 0 1 0 1 0 1 0 0, whatever, that is the binary system. Okay, so people who went to the college, right, they all know binary system and all that different kind of system, right? Octal, what was that? Binary, octal, hex, and decimal, right? I think there is 4, and you have done the math on that one in the college, I believe that is. Okay, so the binary is basically two form, right? 0 and 1. The combination of 0 and 1 will be the binary system. Okay, so data is stored in this format. Okay, now the REST API, right? The API, you have API. Let's say you have the backend, right? Backend here, backend, right? Backend. The backend will make a request to the data for a database. This binary will be not sent. It might be converted to, let's say, JSON object, maybe, right? JSON. So see the state change now, right? State change from binary to maybe JSON. Just imagine, okay? Just imagine. That is what happened, right? Just imagine right now, JSON. Now from the backend, you're going to send the data to the front end now, right? Front end, because front end has requested that data. So from backend in the JSON, and from here you send again back here, right? In JSON format again, JSON. Okay. So the data state is changed from one place to another, right? So the REST API means that is basically the state of transfer, right, of the data from one state to another state. Basically, it changed from something to something else, right, by the time it gets to the final position. So from the database it will go to the backend. From backend it will send back to the front end. But from the different state, like binary or maybe any other format stored in database, right, however it is stored in database, that will be converted to different state, and again from there to the maybe object, right, in JavaScript object, or JSON, you can call it JSON also. We use JSON, right, in JavaScript. So that's the reason for a representational state transfer, the REST. That is why it's called REST API. Clear now, everyone? So if somebody will ask you, explain the REST API, right, just call it the transfer of data from one state to another during the API call, right? Means the data will be changed from different states, between different states, right? So you can call it, let's say example, from binary to JSON file by the time it gets to the front end, right? So that is why we call it RESTful API or REST API, because the state of the data change all the time, right? Transfer from one state to another state. Okay, so that is done. Just ask me, okay, if still anyone has confusion and why, So once we're done with this, then we're going to move to the next step. Let's see. Let me clean this up. Select, and I can select all one time. Okay, so next is, right, so we understand the REST now, RESTful API. We understand in exact what happened in RESTful API, right? So the RESTful API revolves or involve around the data resource. The resource is data, right? That is all the RESTful API does. Sending data, getting data, and all that communication. Okay, you have all the logic in the backend, and that the communication handled by RESTful API. So to do that communication, right, there is a set of methods. Methods means function, right? Or we can call HTTP verb also. Okay, so we can call. So let's write REST API, and you're gonna have different verbs, right? So HTTP verbs. This is called HTTP verbs, right? Verbs, okay. And that will be get, post, put, and delete. Because the RESTful API has to manage or handle data, right? by getting data, that is get, posting data, right? Maybe, yeah, just adding data to the database. When you need to add data to the database, you use post. Update will be put, and delete will be delete, right? So in other programming, right, in other RESTful API, maybe let's say somebody using Python, or I think C, or maybe Ruby on Rails, Ruby, there you can call it CRUD, right? CRUD, I believe that is what it called. Create, read, update, delete, right? But in our JavaScript, in the field of Node.js, right, we call it RESTful API, and that's the same thing, CRUD, okay? And the RESTful API has all these verbs or method or function that will do the job of communication. Okay, so okay, so that is done, right? That is done. The next step is now, right, address. Let's talk about the address. Like, okay, find my address, or find me. Now I'm asking you guys to find me, right? How are you gonna find my address? Somebody, can you answer? Just find my address, find the Dev, right? Where is Dev? Locate me, find me, search somewhere, right? Okay, just find me, okay? All right, so I will answer now. I'm going to find Muhammad, okay? So let's try to find Muhammad now. So let's say Muhammad, I don't know which, this is Asia, right? Asia, or which continent? That's Asia, maybe. Let's call it Asia. Asia, okay. In Asia, maybe there is a country called SA, right? South Africa. And maybe there is a city, maybe, or something, right? I don't know, Johannesburg. I don't know spelling, okay? So just excuse that. And maybe there is in the city, maybe there is a small town or something, right? It's like local area, right? Whatever, you can call it, maybe, let's say ABC, right, place. And then there will be building, maybe some building name, right? And then the flat number and whatever. And finally you get to that address, okay? So see, that's the absolute address you can find, right? Something like that, right? Okay, so that was the jokes done now, right? Okay, let's say there is a movie, right? Kill Bill. I don't know that there is a movie Kill Bill. I don't know, I'll just call it Kill Bill, where I just something pop in my head, okay? That movie, right, is just in this computer now. That's the computer, right? So if you have to find that movie here, just let's say you want to locate the movie in this computer, right? How are you going to get that? Just imagine, right? So this computer, every computer has IP address, correct? That is IP address, because without IP address you cannot communicate. That is the important, right? Let's say 127.0.0 maybe .0. Let's say 1, right? Or you can call it anything, that is the IP address. Now this computer has a server there running, right? So when you have server running, it must have a port. So we can have port, right? Port, P-O-R-T, port, okay? So that port may be 8080, or you can call 777, or maybe 80801, something like that, right? 4 number digit, okay? That is port. Now there is the application, right? Application, we call it what is called that? Maybe let's call it movie app, right? Something like that, okay? So now, right, so you have the IP address, you have the port, you have the app, and from that app, movie app, right, you want to find the movie, right? So that movie is Kill Bill, right? Kill Bill. I'm just trying to put something together. So now give me the address of this now. Address, right? Give me the address. How I can write now? I need to go to that here and find the movie now. So you got everything, right? So first will be IP address 127.0.0.1, right? So you're gonna have IP address. You got that. Then you're gonna put the port, right? 8080. Then you start with your, so now you reach that server, right, already. Okay, now you're going to move to the application there, that is movie. You're going to find movie app, right? App. Okay, and then from there you're going to get the Kill Bill, right? Kill Bill. That's it. So let's say you have local host, then you're going to have like HTTP, something like that, and you get there, right, already, and you have the movie in your screen. Clear? So that's how you're going to get the movie, right? That's the address. Okay, so what else we can do now? Let's see. So what we call this now, what we call this one, that is URI, right? So what is the meaning of URI? Anyone? URI full form? So that is unique resource identifier, unique resource identifier. So there is URL, right? URL. So that will be www dot, maybe www dot, let's say facebook.com, right? Normally we call URL, right? All the sites name, but something like this we call it URI, right? Like unique resource identifier. So in our RESTful API we have this, the address, you know, we add the address, right, of our application. When you're getting something, you're gonna have the your path, right, address. Okay, and then you're gonna have the method, right, function. So you're gonna hit that address and then you're gonna do the job, right? Function will handle the work, whatever work it's gonna do. So that API address is called URI. So that is unique resource identifier. UNIQU, right? QUE, unique resource identifier. I hope that is okay. Identifier, right? Fire. Okay, guys. So URI and URL, you know, just try to understand that. So this is our URI. Clear? So even same thing now, right? I mean, let's say you have a movie booking app, for example, right? Movie booking app, and you need to book the movie. You know, let's say there is a movie, right, where you can go and book. So you go online and then click on that movie and then just buy the ticket or book, right? Something like that. You click and it will book. So it might be, right, there are many movies in the theater. Okay, so in the movie booking, let's say that is a movie booking app, for example, almost same thing, right? Now the whole address URI will be almost same for everything, you know, the same concept. So in the movie booking app, if I say the IP address, let's say IP address is, you know, like for example, we're going to do a couple of exercises so you can remember, right? Maybe 121.0 dot whatever 49 dot maybe what else, let's call it 49.1, like that, right? That is IP address. Then there will be port, right? Maybe 7765, something like that. Then now you reach to the computer, that computer, right, already. Then there will be the application, movie booking application, right? And then you're gonna go to the folder, right, where all the movies are, you know, and then you want to select the movie, which movie is that, which movie you want to target, right? So let's say what is that, Jungle, right, like that. Okay, so that's the URI now for that movie booking application, right? Correct. Okay, so now I will give you one condition now, right? You guys can make a URI. Okay, so let's write down. So IP, so let's say you have the Uber, right? You need to locate the make a location. Okay, so Uber maybe let's say Uber. Let me think. Okay, so Uber application can have the location, right? Locating app, okay, where you can locate something. Maybe you try to locate your car, right? Which driver has where, you can locate that. So let's say we can call it geolocator or something. So let's first put IP address, okay? IP, right? So IP might be 111 whatever, right? 111 maybe 100.25.2, right? .2, okay. So that is IP address. Then port, right? So port will be what? Maybe 6666, okay. Then you're gonna have a, so you have the IP address, port, and then you have what? The app name, right? So app name will be, call it geolocator, okay. Locator, right? And then you're gonna have a maybe resource, what you are looking at, data, right? Resource, or maybe like the resource was before movie, app, and then resource maybe, so we can call it location, right? That is what our application does, okay. Location. So these locations can have a lot of location, right? So that is location ID, maybe a location ID, and ID maybe, let's say 1005 or something. So this will give some location in the map, right? So you have bunch of location, that is resource, bunch of location. Geolocator is the app, right? And resources is like the list of all the locations, okay. And from there you're gonna find 1005 ID. So everyone put in the chat, right, how you're gonna build the URI. Did I? Okay, I'd cover, right? Sorry about that. I think the chat. Okay, you can see now, right? All that. So you have IP, port, app, resource, and location. Hopefully done. You guys are typing, right? Just let me know, okay, if someone is done, right? And I'll check. Okay guys, I think you guys have done a good job, but at least you know now, right, how to build the URI. Okay, that is what we were doing, so that's good. Okay, so MJ, Mini, Muhammad, Suma, and Oliver gang. Okay, the rest of you also can add. Okay, so let's continue now. But I mean, you get the idea, right, how we build the RESTful API. Okay, so now we have the idea and the URI. So our RESTful API is the support our full CRUD operation, right? RESTful API support CRUD operation, create, read, update, delete. So we're just using this this address, right? Can we build something like some kind of, can we display something like a complete CRUD? Okay, can we do that? So let's try now, right? So I will just put in the box here, okay, and I will write there, right? So let's say you want to get that location, okay, so that will be get, the http var will be get, right? Get, okay, that will be get, and then you're gonna put the URI, right? URI, so that will be 111.100.25.2, right? That is the IP address. Then you're gonna have port 666, okay, and then you have the application geo locator, CATOR, geolocator, and then after that you have the resource, the data, right? The data is locations, and then you're getting the final data, right? 005. Okay, so we got that one. Now you're gonna do the same thing, right? For the, let's say you want to add something to this location, you want to add something, right? So that will be post. So you're gonna have the same address because you want to add to the same application, same server, all that, right? The port is 6666 / geolocator / location, right? And then you're gonna add something new data, in that locations is the set of data, right? You're gonna add, let's say you want to add 200, something like that, right? Something, so that is posting some location, okay? This might be a lot of information, a lot of thing, right? But I just put the number 2000. Just imagine that is set of things you want to save to your database. Okay, now you want to update, right? That will be put verb, and you have the same, you're gonna have the URL, right? URI basically, so that is u11.100.25.2:666 / locator / location. So I will tell you one thing, right? Let's say you want to get 1005, you want to access the first one because you are updating something, so you're going to access the data from the database, and then you make a change and then you post again back, right? But sometimes people do post verb to handle update also. And you can do that way as well, but that is the wrong way. Okay, we have to use put, because in the MongoDB, right, when you have put, there is the functions for the MongoDB, which will do the job automatically for us. Okay, so there is a set of functions you can use, and then work is done. It will get the data and update same time also. So getting and updating will be handled by put method. Okay, so let's say 1005 you update to new number, maybe 3305, right? And that is update. So now will be delete, right? So same thing, which one you want to delete, you call that information and then it will delete automatically. So you must get information from the URI, application name, locator slash location slash whatever you want to delete. Let's say you want to delete 2000, right? This one you want to delete, and it will remove from the database, you know, so that data. So that's how it work, right? Clear? So what is URI now? Basically, you know, URI means in your basically in the RESTful API you're gonna have URI plus the verb, right? And that will make RESTful API. And the RESTful API, the REST revolve around the data. Means you only handle data management. Okay, you do the data handling right through the RESTful API. So that should be clear enough now. What let's say. Okay, so let's talk about middleware, right? Middleware little bit. Middleware. So in the middleware, right? See, Express does not come with everything. Like it's not a full-fledged programming library, or maybe what you call that, the library, right? Let's call it library. But we call Express is framework because it has a lot of things built in already, but still there are few things missing, right? And they are keep constantly updating that. Well, I mean, you see the improvement all the times. But the middleware is like remember, I think we talked about the example yesterday, right? When you go to the hospital, first you will go to the reception, and she will not let you, right? He or she will not let you go see doctor directly. Okay, there will be a middleman or the nurse or whoever, right, sitting in the middle. They're gonna do all kind of checking first. You know, they will take your blood pressure, whatever, right? That is like a middleware. Okay, the middleman who gonna handle all the work, and then finally you're gonna see the doctor. So same thing in the RESTful API. What happened, right? When you are creating or getting data, that data has to be handled or received by middleware. Okay, and then finally our REST API will take action on that one. So sometimes you're going to see the middleware used like parsing, you know, the data. There will be express.json middleware, you know. So you're going to put all the middleware inside the express.use, right? Or we can call it app.use. So we will see that one, okay? So middleware is basically the function in JavaScript which has control on the request object, response object, and all that, and maybe next also, right? Next is basically after completing the work, the control will move to the next step. So middleware has access or control to the request and response object. Clear? So that is middleware, right? Okay, so I think I mean, I can show you one example with the middleware also, right? Let's go back. So here, so now we're gonna build some simple example, right? We're gonna just do maybe one project, simple project. We almost got all the idea about the RESTful API. So let's build this, right? With one, we're gonna create something because we don't have database. This is like a, you know, just a concept, right? Still to make a full RESTful API, we need to implement with the database. So we try to mimic the RESTful API within our computer, okay, within our program, right, within here. So we're going to create some storage, like some kind of object, something, and then we're going to use that. So okay, so first thing first, what we do now, this is our project REST API, right? That is the project folder. Added the git ignore also. There is a git ignore. I'm in my project folder already. So can we do like a git init, right? And I'll just put -y. So everything is S, right? So that will be everything S. Okay guys, just give me a second, okay? I need to open the door, right? Okay, sorry about that. So let's continue. So we're gonna do git init dash y. Clear? So it will initialize our project. What happened? Something wrong? Unknown. Did I make something mistake here? Okay, so let's git. Why I did git, right? Sorry, npm. Sorry, npm init, right? Init dash y, and it will just install everything same time. Okay, so I got the package JSON, right? The main is index.js. I will make it server. Okay, let me make the server. server.js. Okay, let's install the libraries, right? A couple of libraries. So that will be npm install express. Then we're gonna install node1. Then we're gonna install body parser, body dash parser. What else? Install express node1 body parser. Yeah, that will be enough for our project. Let's install that. Okay, so we got body parser, express, and node1. Clear? Now, so I have server.js. I need to create that file in my project. So I'll just say server.js. Clear? So how we create server now, right? First you get, or maybe, okay, let's call it const express equal to require. That's why I said just memorize it, okay? And express. After that, this is the function, right? So you're gonna execute that function. So let's store that execution in the variable called app express, and that's it. Now this will return the big object which is inside the app. So that object has property called listen, and that listen is used for creating or basically executing the server, right? Or running the server. So I'm gonna need port also. So const port equal to, I will make it 8080, okay? 8080. And let's call the port first. So see the listen function has few things. The first one is port, and the second one you can pass function also, callback function. Because why callback? The function pass inside another function as a parameter, that is callback function. And so here I will say console log, right? Console.log, and call it server is running on port, right? Port what? This is called the port variable here. Okay, so that should be fine, good enough, right? So let's test now. So I will say node server, right? And see, server is running on port. So that's it, the server is ready, good to go now. The problem here will be we have to run this Node.js all the time, right? And we don't want to do that, because every time we make change and save, the server should update the data automatically. So how we do that? Go back to package.json, and we have the node1 that can help. Node1 is our friend to refresh the server all the time. For every change, it's gonna refresh the server. So node1, we're gonna use the node1. So yeah, we're gonna do here, in the script section, right? Go on the top, we say call start, add the start proper. You can call it anything, okay, but let's call it better start, npm start, right? And then we're gonna call this node1, and our file name is server. Let's call it js, okay? And this is the property of the object, so you must separate with comma. Good to go. So let me kill this, and I say npm start, and it will say node1 started the server. Okay, now if I go back to the server, right, and I say here console.log hello, so save this, and you see the hello printed already in the console, basically in the terminal, right? Because this console log is not the browser JavaScript, this is Node.js. So Node.js information will not go to the browser, it will run in the server. So anything you do here will be run in the server, and that's from the server, that is backend, and from there things will send to the front end. Okay, so this is our backend right now, right? So we will see after completing our database, the next week we're going to build small application and make a communication from front end and back end and all that. Okay, so we're going to improve slowly. So now done. So let's try to create simple what you call that middleware, right? Let's see if we can do that one. So middleware is just a function, right? So I need to write one function. So how are we gonna do that? I mean, we can just use this, right? Let's see. App. We have the app here because the things will go. Everything will go in the middleware, right? So when we have middleware, we use something like this, like app.use. Okay, use, right? Even you're gonna have. Remember that express. You're gonna put express.json, right? That is also middleware. You put that one. That will be one middleware for our use. Then other will be like app.use body parser, you know. So that will be body parser. So we have not imported yet, right? So body parser, okay, that import now. Body parser dot what was that? I think URL encoded, right? And then inside you pass the object that will be I think extended to false, maybe, yeah, something like that. I hope that is correct, so we'll check. Okay, that is the one. So if we want to write our own middleware, right, you can have maybe function const, let's say app.use, right, app.use, and the function maybe, let's say my middleware, right? Let's call it my middleware. I'm just writing anonymous function. Okay, so this function can have a request, response, maybe there will be next step, like that. But next step is basically sending the control to the next step. Okay, so middleware has access to all that, right? And then in this middleware we can just say console log, right? Console.log, and from here oh, sorry, this is not the arrow function, sorry guys. Console.log, and we can just add here this is from middleware. Okay, save. We can even add the next. So something went wrong, right? App.use, why we got this one? Why it didn't work? Why is giving error? That's the middleware, app.use, right? And can we just put the arrow function here? Yeah, and we can add like request, response, maybe next. I don't know what was the issue before, you know. We can console log. Can we console log from middleware? Okay, now run this, right? So app that use so let's see. Okay, let's do one thing, right? I don't know why it's not working, but let's copy this. Okay, and this add here. Okay, so I will call it const middleware, right, equal to this function. Okay, that's the arrow function, right? And then I call this middleware here. Yeah, so it should run, right? It should run, but we don't get any answer here, you know. So it should give us a console log from middleware, right? So I don't see anything. So it's running, right? But why did not print anything? So so let's go to the browser, right? Let's check now, because it might have sent the data there. Can we do that? Localhost 8080, right? 8080. So there is no GET request right now. Inspect. Yeah, so there is some issue. Okay, it did not work. How are we gonna fix that? App.use middleware, middleware app.use. So we have request response, that's the function, and we're running all that, right? Okay, we will check this one. I don't know why this will work, right? This will when we put this one in the middleware, it should at least console log this file. Okay, but I don't know why it did not. Oh, okay, it's work now. Sorry. See, now it's working, right? See that from the middleware. Look at here, it's finally get here, right? So it's working. Just look at here. Sometimes maybe you just have to restart server or something, but it just worked. It took some time, right? That's why I was surprised, maybe I was just not giving enough time to respond this computer. But the middleware is like a function which you pass inside the use app.use function. Okay, that is what it says, right? And it will do some work. So there are different middlewares you're going to see. Out of that, this 2 is useful for us when you're creating a server. Just do the same thing, right? Just add it here in the beginning, right? And you're done. Okay, so let's comment or remove this one for now. Okay, so we're done now, right? The next step is, in any company, big company, right, the trend. Okay, trend is what? Before that, right, I might explain a little bit something more. Okay, let's see. What is this? So let's say when you go to the restaurant or maybe big hotel, you go USA somewhere, right? You stay in the hotel, you go to the reception. Okay, so in there, right, you went to the hotel, big hotel. Inside there you're gonna have a reception. He will welcome you. So what is basically, right, what is that means? How are we going to relate that to our concept of a RESTful API? So mainly there are 3 concepts, right, like routes, controller, and model. Remember, the thing is route, right, route, controller, and model. So route will be like a URI, all the route, and then it will take the function from controller. Controller is all the logic, right? And the model is a database. Okay, so in big company, when you work, right, they have standard way of creating the API, RESTful API. You're not just gonna put in the files and messed up, when do everything all over the place, right? There is a standard way of doing things. Okay, so how that work, right? So let's talk about the example of hotel. When you go to the hotel, he or she will welcome you, right? Then after that, the receptionist will call the, so that is the route. Okay, the receptionist basically welcoming part is like a route, right? That is a route. Okay, so now the main brain, right, the main person of that hotel is who? Waiter, right? Waiter. Okay, so he knows all over the hotel. He will bring you to the hotel, he will greet you, he will carry your bag and all that, right? So that is the main brain or main person who will do all the work for you. That is controller, right? And the model will be, model is what, like the data, right? The things you're gonna need to power your app. So things you're gonna need, let's imagine with the food, right? Food, okay, or the person who cooked the food, right? Okay, so now, if let's say if you have to build, right, if you have to build the database, let's say you want to build the RESTful API, right? You're gonna need all these three things: the router, controller, and model. So which things you're gonna build first? What you need first in your, let's say in your hotel, what you're gonna need first here? You're gonna need the person to cook food, or waiter, or receptionist. What you need first? Anyone guess? So in your hotel, you start the hotel, right? Who you gonna need first? Like the person to cook the food, prepare food, foods will be ready. Then you have a waiter, right, to help the guest, and the receptionist who will be welcoming person, right? So who you gonna hire first? Anyone?
Receptionist.
Okay, you hire the receptionist, the guest came, right? But there is no food to eat, there is no person to help the guest. Guess what you gonna do now? Now receptionist will run all over the place because she gonna welcome guests, she gonna cook the food, she gonna bring the guest to the room, all that, right? That's not, maybe that is not good idea. So why not you go like this? You're gonna have, let's say you're gonna hire the best cook in the town, right? You have all the best food ready to go. Okay, then you need someone to care the customer, right? Waiter, you hire the waiter, and finally you get the receptionist. Okay, so when you design your RESTful API, you start with the model. Okay, complete the model, then write the controller for that function, and then you connect to your route, right? And then it will do the job. So let's try to, because the reason I put this one, right, so you're gonna always remember food is what, waiter is what, and the reception is what. You just, because it will confuse you for a long time, right? And you can always I don't know, I mean, you can write anything. If you know, you can just write anything, it will work, right? Does not matter. Okay, but just in the proper way. I mean, that is the only thing I'm saying. So let's go back and do that one now. So normally in our project we're gonna have the folder, right? So let's see, RESTful API. So let's create 3 folder: models, right? That will be the database. Then you have controllers, and then you're gonna put inside the what else? What was the last one? Model, controller, and the router, right? Router. Okay, or you can call it routes, right? ROUTES, routes, or router, whatever you can call it. Okay, that's just the folder, routes, betterly. Okay, so the first you're gonna write a model, right? So this so what we don't know what we are building, you know, what you want to build now. So I was thinking about the idea app, right? You have an idea and you build the app with your idea app, call it idea app. So you're gonna, in your app, you just input all your idea. Okay, so we don't have database or anything, so let's create a model, simple model, right? So I call it idea maybe model, right? Idea, just name it anything, but let's call it idea.model JS file right here. Okay, so now normally in the real API, right, in the when you write a real RESTful API, which is gonna work, there you're gonna have the model where you're gonna write all the schema, right? So we're gonna learn that in our MongoDB. But right now the model is what? Data, just the data, right? Information. So I'm gonna just create one object here. So I will say, call it, I will just export that module.export. We know that. Okay, just create simple exports, right? Equal to now, so the object I'm going to add here, right? So the object will be basically one, that is the first ID or maybe property, right? And that is first object also. So let's add it one like that and give it the value. So oh sorry, let's put here ID. Okay, let's put ID, and ID will be one, right? The first one is one. Okay, the next one is maybe what we call idea, the name of idea. Let's call it idea name. So let's call it Robert Welker idea one. Okay, like that. Now you're gonna have the, maybe what else we're gonna have? So idea author, right? Author, something like that. And let's say that is, so maybe we can call this idea one, right? And let's put the author name here, you know. It's good, idea one, author name, that. And then we're gonna have maybe description of, you know, so idea description, right? Idea, I just put that description, something short form like that. And you can add, okay, this is one of the great idea for fishing, for catching big fish, something like that. Okay, simple enough. Now our data is ready, right? So you're gonna have, similarly, when you add, you're gonna have like two, maybe it will be two like that. You're gonna have three idea, third idea, you know. So you keep adding the data, right? Like that. Clear? So when you add something, that will be post, when you read, that will be get, and all that. So we will, for now, this is just the sample data, and we're going to start from here, right? So the model is built, our model is ready. So next step is what we're going to build next? Controller, right? So model, the waiter, now controller. Okay, so let's go to the controller. Where is controller? Here, REST API controller. So we can call it idea dot controller. Okay, and then idea dot controller and JS JavaScript. So how are we going to build the controller now? So controller is all the function, right? The main brain of the program is controller, means the API, the main brain is controller. So it's just a function here. You're going to write the real function, right? So the first function is, let's say I want to get all the idea, right? Get all the idea. So let's call it, okay, let's write all the work we're going to do, right? Get all idea. So the next will be add idea, right? Then will be update idea, and then delete idea. Clear? So let's write this first function. So I can say what, so I want to get all the idea, right? I want to get all the idea. That is get all idea, or we can call it search, find all, right? Maybe you can give it any name, you know. Find all idea. So you can see using different name, right? Okay, so first we function now, simple function. Can we write function, just function, const find all idea, right? Like that, equal to arrow function. So in the RESTful API, when you have function like this, right, the controller have two things or three things also, a request and response. Okay, remember last time we did everything in same page, right, yesterday, but we are separating the whole thing now, the model in one file, data, the logic in controller section, and the then you're gonna have routes separate in the route folder. Okay, so because let's say you're building e-commerce site, you know, there will be a lot of controller, lot of routes, lot of the what you call that model, okay, the user management, the product management, maybe the payment things, so many things, right? So you're going to build piece by piece. So when you add things in separate folder, separate, you know, that will be nice, right? So that's what we are learning, starting from the scratch. I mean, the idea is to structure your project properly, and then when you slowly, when you start building from small to large project, right, you're going to see all these things. So now find all idea. So I need an idea, right? I don't have how I'm going to get idea. So I have this idea model, right? So let's import that. So I can say const, right, const all the ideas equal to require, right, and will be dot slash model slash idea model. So now I get all the ideas here, okay, that object, and that's it. I'm going to use here, right? So now, so I just want to send this idea directly, right? There is nothing I can do. What else I can do? So I want to send this idea to the website, right? So let's do that one. I don't know what is the noise outside. God, the response dot status. So I want to add status, like I received the data, right, already. So that status is happy status 200, okay, status, right? And then send is the function there, right? When you have response, you have status, send, all these are the part of the response object. So you're going to send now what you want to send, the ideas, the data, right, ideas. Okay, so finally find all idea, right, means find all ideas, like that, all ideas. Okay, so we got the idea now, right? So can we I want to export that, you know. Can I export? I mean, we can do one thing, right? Let's export this, something like this, module dot export, right? Or why not we just do export find idea, you know, simple here, you know, just to exports, right? Did that work? Const what is the issue? Okay, yeah, so export here, right? So when you just using on the same line, so it will export this as an object now, right? So let's get that one. Now finally we have the controller ready. Let's move to the our REST, the route, right, route here. So we can say idea dot route .js, routes, or maybe routes .js. So how are we going to use route now, right? Let me see. route. So in the route, how you write a route, right? Basically in the route, what gonna happen, right? What are the things we need? So in the route, what we're gonna need, right? I want to send the whole function. So let me see route. I want to send the whole function. So export. Can we just export this? The basically what gonna happen, right? Let's see.
Dev,
Yeah.
shouldn't we import Express router first?
No,
Right.
I right. I mean, you correct, right? What you are saying, but the thing is, we're not using that. We're just using normal function right now. Okay. So after we complete the model, and then we're gonna use the routers and all that. Right now, we just try to understand the concept. That's it. So routers and all that we're gonna use. We're gonna use maybe in tomorrow project. I will see that. Okay. So I'm just trying with the normal concept, right? Normal, the raw way, like how you just use the function and do things. Because we right now the goal is to understand how you moving things, right, from one place to another one. Okay. So the thing is now how I'm gonna put the route, right? Routes. So let's see. Basically what can happen, right? That function, export, that should be, I mean, we gonna just export, right? Man, what, let me give me a second. Okay, I cannot, I know it was, I just remember that because I wrote this one earlier. Let me see quickly, because I practiced one time already. Okay, still I don't remember. See that, where is that project I just wrote? Basically here, right? That is class, so it might be here. Okay, so let me check the route, right? Idea routes.js. Yeah. So we're just gonna export one function for now, right? And then we're gonna use that. So callback function, and yeah, so that is what we're gonna do. Okay. So in the route, right, we're gonna first we need controller. So let's import that, right? So we're gonna idea controller. Let's call that file idea controller. Cons idea controller equal to require, right? And then dot slash controller, and we call it idea controller. See, even these things I have not practiced too much. Okay, so I before class, right, this morning before I left, I wake up like 3:30, and then I did that whole work, right, for 2 hours, and then I went to the hospital. So imagine today I have like a very harsh day, right? Because I want to get ready, because I didn't know what time I will get back, right? So that's why I just prepare it a little bit before I, so that not get too much confused. So anyway, now you see, we just import that file, right? Idea controller. Okay, we import that file, and now we're going to create function. So let's say module, right? Module, you can write module dot exports, or you can export in the bottom also, right? Module dot export, and that will be, the function name is what name we can give? Just either there is two things, either you export the whole function like this, or you can put in the variable and then export, right? That both is possible. So either you write like this whole function, okay, you send it, basically export, right? That is one way. Or you can say const router, right? Router equal to this, and then you can module dot exports router, right? Equal to router, okay? Because see, module dot exports router, that is what this router is, what all this function. So same thing if you put here, right? Same thing, okay? That's same thing. So we just have to, you know, understand in different way, right? So if you see somebody code written in this way, still you know, oh, this is just exporting this function, okay? So this function gonna need app, okay? App, right? You have to pass the app, and then now app dot get function, get, basically get is the first verb, and it gonna need the route, right? Route. So what is the route now? So slash, right? Let's call this idea app, okay? Idea app. So remember, we have localhost 8080 already, localhost 8080 already. You don't have to put here the slash will do the job, right? Already slash idea app, and then we're gonna add what? Idea app, right? And we can call it let's call it v1, right? And maybe idea v1 idea, something like that. That's the route. See how I put here ideas, right? Something like that. Let's say this is our main route, okay? And yeah, that's really fine. Ideas, okay? So in the router, right? In the router you need two things. You pass this URI, and second is the function, the controller you pass here, right? So if I console like this, you're gonna get object, right? So from that object, let's say idea, right? Idea, where is that? Idea controller dot, see I'm getting now, right? That is the property find all ideas. Clear? I passed that. Now this is already exported. So my first route is ready. Get route is ready, right? I'm gonna call this into my server now, server here, and the now, right, I'm going to use that. So import first, import. So let's import we call it what? Router, right? Router, or oh sorry, cons router, route, or maybe router, you can call it anything. Route, right, equal to require, and then dot slash find. So now we are in the, because we are in the server, in the same folder, right? You have that routes. So that's why I say same folder dot slash routes slash and then idea route, okay? So that this will give me what? This will give me the function. I'm getting function here, right? Function. So now I can say route. So now route, right? So that's the function. So I just have to route and pass that app, right? App, because it can ask me that app, okay? That app, right? This app. So yeah, that should work, you know. Route that function and you pass that app. So it's same. Remember before what we do, right? We do app dot get, and then inside the get you're gonna have that route like this, right? Let's say contact, you have contact, right? Contact page, okay? And then you pass the here, remember you pass that function here. That's the controller right now, controller, okay? And this controller will do jobs, right? But we have segregate now everything simply. So that's the route, that's the controller. So you're gonna see the built-in function right inside the express, okay? Route routes and how we use. We're gonna check that tomorrow, or maybe when we build, when our database is ready, then we're gonna use that. Okay, but just understand in the simple functional way how things work, right? So I think this will work. You know, we should get our first data in the browser. There is error. What happened now? Oh man, what happened? Did I make some mistake here? So I'm gonna do app, right? App. I pass the app here, right? I pass the app, and then app.get, because app.get is done in the route here already. App.get. That's the function, right? And that function is basically returning, you know, this thing. So when you have get, it should run this one, right? So why it did not work? Let's see. Yeah, we execute that, you know. So we have required, we got that one already, and then we execute. But what is the issue? Okay guys, just give me a second. It should work, okay? But sometimes that is the model, controller, idea. Find all ideas, routes, right? Idea route. No, not this one. Where is my routes? So this is okay, this is fine, right? Just need to go to the server. So what is the error message? Let's read the okay, so now find all idea export, right? There is error with that export. Okay, exports, so that will be in the controller. That exports, why is giving error, you know? Okay, let's do one thing. What I will do, right, I'm going to export all this in one place. So I will say module, right? Module dot exports, and now when you have multiple function, you just put inside here like this. So that will be find all idea, right? That is the first one. Okay, idea. The next one we just put comma and after, right? Just add there. And okay, that was the error. Okay, so it's fixed. So let's check now, right? Let's go to our browser, localhost, refresh that. No. What is our URI now? That is idea app v1 ideas, right? That is the one. And you get that data already. See that? Means get function is working already now. So let's do one thing, right? I think now is only few things left, but can we continue? Okay, let's finish it. Maybe 10-15 minutes more will be done. So now we don't have to do anything with the data, right? But you want to add the idea. How are we going to do that? Okay. So let's write quickly now. The const, right? Create idea. Let's call it create idea equal to arrow function, and little bit logic here, right? Because see, we don't have in the database, in the real database, what gonna happen? It will create ID and all that automatically. You don't have to do. But here we don't have ID, right? We're not creating any ID, but we will try to mimic, like we just add some ID here. So maybe we can call it something like let maybe ID count, right? Count equal to 1, and then what we're gonna do? So we have request response. So first we're gonna create ID, right? Const, okay, let's write something here. Okay, like what we're gonna do first. So let's read the idea, right? When you send idea, you want to read, right? Idea, IDEA, idea. Okay, the next you're gonna do maybe you want to generate the ID, right? Generate ID, okay. And the next you're gonna do what? Save, right? Save. Just save it in the list, right? List, or maybe save it in your object, right? Save it in your object, something like that. Yeah. So read the object. So let, or maybe const, let's make it const idea equal to const idea equal to what we can call it. So how we get data? Remember from HTML form how you get data? Request.body, right? Request.body. So that's how you get data from the body. Okay, that is first thing. Let's generate ID now, right? So remember this idea, right, is the object. You getting the object. So inside that object you want to add one ID property. So idea dot ID equal to pre increment, right? Idea count. Okay, idea count. Because the reason, just to make simple, because we know we already have one count, right? Already have one ID in our database, in our object. Okay, I just want to start from there, right? So now next time it will be 2, next will be 3 and 4, like that. Okay, because we have one initial already, just to demonstrate, right? So how are we going to save now? So we're going to save here, let's say you're going to save where? Inside this ideas, right? Inside this ideas, that is the data model, right? So we call it ideas, right? Square bracket, and you want to give the property when you do variable here, right? I hope everyone remember how to manipulate the object. So when you have variable square bracket, you pass the ID. So now it will create a new property in your object. Okay, let's say this time is 2, right? Equal to, and data. What is data? The idea, this idea. So this idea already have the ID also, and you now add it to here. Done. So just added something to your database, right? So once you finish the addition, you want to return the response. So let's call it return response, right? Response. So how you do that? Res dot status. So you added, right? That is success, and then dot send the data. So that will be basically you want to display that data. So that is ideas, right? Ideas square bracket ID count. So that one, the one which you just added, you want to display that. Okay, done. So now the only thing is controller. So let's go to the controller. Sorry, the now is, because we have the database model ready, you just work on controller and the routes, right? So here in the routes, you just copy this, but from controller you must send this create idea. So here comma create idea, so that you can receive other side. Okay, so idea route here, right? You can call it create idea, and this will be post. Okay, the method is post. So you want to test now, guys? Let's test this one, right? Let's go back and test this quickly. So this will work, everything working. So let's go back. So we need a postman because we don't have way to send the data, right? So let's go back here. And I'm just gonna add, right? Let's create a new, so get, right? So get will be just call it localhost. This will be 8080 port, right? We are in 8080 port, and then we need to access what? We need to access the idea app, right? / ideas. Okay, when you enter, so there is error. Okay, maybe the spelling mistake, right? Let's check now. localhost 8080 idea app. So let's check our route, because you must need the right idea app v1/idea. That's the route. Okay, localhost, that's the root route, right? I mean, slash is root route, but after that is your route. So go back and v1/ideas. Okay, so we got one idea already, right? That is the get method that is working. Let's add the post now, right? Post, and you're gonna have the same URL. So we put here, but you need to send the data in the post. It is asking to send data, right? So go to the body, raw data, and then the JSON, right? So I just want to copy something from there. Just copy this, right? Oh, just copy the data only. You know, no need to put anything. So in the raw data I paste here, right? So I will leave everything, right? I will just leave it everything there. Idea is 2 by Robert Welker 2, and then fishing and cooking. Okay, and now let's send, right? Let's send this one and see what happens. So see, the second idea is added already, right? Added. We can test that. Go back to your get idea and send the request, and see, you got the second idea here. Clear, guys? So you are already adding something to your object, to your model, right? So that is post. Now the two is that is update. So that will be update, right? So okay, let's do that one quickly, maybe maximum 5 more minutes, okay, and then we will be done. 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, let's go back now. So we just need to controller, you know, we finished with the add idea, right? So let's move to the update idea here. So const, see all this function now, all this controller, right? All this function. So you're gonna have a, let's call it update idea equal to what else? We can, this arrow function, right? Arrow function will be request and response, and you're gonna, so see, when you update something, right, what are the things you're gonna need? Like you're gonna update, let's say, idea with ID 1 or maybe something like that, right? So we have to know how to write that URI, okay? So we need to read the ID which is passed to your the URI you getting ID, right? Let's read that one. So we're gonna do the const maybe idea ID, right, like that, equal to, so you can read that ID from the URL or URI through request, that is request.params, that is the params, right, this parameter, and you call the ID. So whatever ID, right? So I will show you now. This ID is coming from the URI, okay? Later on in the what you call that, in your route, you're gonna see that. And then after that you're gonna check, right? So let's say if this ideas, right, ideas, you pass that ID, okay, idea ID. If that is true, if there is data, right, with that ID, then you want to update, okay? So now what you're gonna do, now you're gonna do basically what you're gonna do now, if that is true, then only you want to do something. So you're gonna get that data first. Let's get the data, right? Ideas equal to idea ID, right? ID. I mean, basically you're gonna add the new data. The update is what? You have something there in your body, you update that and push it, right? So you want to update now your object. So that is the object ideas. You just change there in the same ID, okay? So that will be data from request body. good enough, and then we're going to send the status, right? So response dot status will be 200 if that is success, and send the message also, right? So you can just write a message, maybe, you know, call it idea updated, right? Updated. Okay. Else, let's say if there is no ID, right? There is no object, then you want to send you know, basically status of 404, something like that. That is then send, and we call it message, right? And that will be no such ID, right? ID, no such ID. Okay, fine. Okay, I think that is good enough. So we just need the route, right? ID route. So just copy that, and oh sorry, we just need to update ID, right? Update idea, so that we're gonna get in the route, and that will be update idea. So see the ID, this is the route, but you need a special ID now, so that will be ID route. That's it. That is the ID you're getting from the route, right? So localhost idea app v1 ideas/id. So that's how it works. So let's go to the route here, right? So now we can add one more for, oh, you know, the thing is not post here. We need to put a put function. That is the update function, right? Okay, so go back now. Here, that's too much, guys, so I know that, but just bear with me. Okay, one more minute. We're just adding some function, right? We're gonna repeat this many times, so let's not worry. You see something today, right? It's stressful, a lot of information, but it's okay. Now ideas. So maybe you're gonna have, let's say you're gonna have with ID, right? ID 1, for example. So you're gonna send some data, right? Here you cannot fetch data. Okay, you cannot do that. You have, we just in the ID 1 idea, right? You want to update, so we need to get that data first. So we just need this data, right? We just want to update something, that's it. You make it JSON file here. So let's say this will be idea 1, right? Robert Welker and Dev, right? Dev, okay. Fishing and cooking fry, right? Something like that. I don't know, cooking fry, whatever. Okay, so that is fine. So now see, in this, if I send this now, right? If I send this, let's see how it works, right? Let's see how it will do the job. Okay, see if this is updating or not. So if I send now, right, we get error. Cannot put idea v1 idea 1, right? We cannot put idea. So ideas 1. Why? We're sending the data. We are sending the data, right? So what is the error? Update idea, that is fine. We added the ID also, that is good. And that is, everything looks fine, right? So only thing is request at params.id, right? And we yeah,
you forgot the slash in front of ID, in front of by idea routes JS. Not by idea route.
oh, in the route, right? Idea route. Okay.
So, yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry guys, here. That's the mistake. Okay, thanks. So now check, right? Let's try to add again. Let's send this one, okay? Because we are trying to update the data 1, right? And send. Okay, so idea updated, right? So let's say if there is a with and dev and cooking fry, right? Let's check in our get data. Okay, so when we get the get request, send this, and you see that robot welker dev, and we just got the data updated already. Okay, that work. So the final is delete, right? Delete. So let's add that also. So that will be, I think that will be the same route also. You're deleting something with the route, right? It will be exact same like put, but let's write a controller first. So why I just copy this one, you know. Do I need that to copy? Maybe. Let's try. So we can call it delete idea, right? DELETE, right? Delete idea. Required response. So you're gonna need ID again, right? You're gonna need ID, and if that there is some idea, right, with that ID, then there is a function. Okay, so I think we don't need to do this one. So just use the delete, right? Delete, and then you call that idea. I mean, this is a simple way to try to demonstrate, right? What are the things you can do with the RESTful API, okay? But in our with the MongoDB, there will be something different. There is already built-in functions and all that in the Mongoose. That's what we're going to use. But we don't have real data. We're just faking out something, like a mimicking something, right? Just trying to understand how RESTful API work. That is the only thing we are doing here. So delete, you want to delete that idea. So just put this one here, right? Once delete, say if that is status 200, send message, maybe idea deleted, right? If there is no such idea, right? If there is no that ID or something, then you can call it no such ID. Try different ID, right? Okay. So now let's go back, and we're gonna add one more page here. You call that delete, but before that we must update our route also. So let's delete idea, send it through the object, delete idea, and go back to our route. So not here, where is the other one? Here, right? Let's copy this. So you're gonna need ID which you want to delete, and then will be delete idea here, right? Delete idea. Okay, so now I'm gonna change this verbs to delete, 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 right? Yeah. So now try it. Let's go to the Postman. Here we're gonna copy the route, right, from the last one. I want to delete this one. Okay, so go back, put here, that is delete, and once you click now, right, once you click this, it should work. Let's see. So idea deleted, right? So the first one should be deleted now. Let's go to the our idea here, right, and run the get method, and we get empty object. Okay, so it just worked, right? Little bit confusing, but still we managed to complete this. See, just look at this video, right? Start from first, try to understand everything, make a note, small notes, you know, just get like a, what you call that, like overview, right? How RESTful API works, and things we talk about today, right? And then try to create this one. Okay, we're gonna finish the MongoDB, and then we're gonna get back to our real API development. Okay, in there you're gonna see a little bit different with the, there is a built-in Express API routes and all that, how we used to, you know, like create a route routes and all that, right? So you're gonna see all that. But thank you very much, you know, be with patience for so long time, right? Being patient and just listening to me. I hope you, some of you get angry, but it's okay, right? But still be happy and keep learning. Okay, I mean, you know, once you understand this API things, right, trust me, you will feel happy. Okay, after maybe a week, 2 weeks time, you know, you should be feel happy. You just build small, you don't have to build a large e-commerce site. just build a small blog, right? And you have front end, back end. Just use anything, okay? React, of course, CSS, anything you use, and you build the complete thing now, right? Okay, the MJ, right? Remember the last time the project I gave you about that API, and from the front end did not work. Okay, now you're gonna do that one through the back end, right? So you fetch the data in back end, and you use that API to route now your local data to your front end, okay? And see, that will work. We can maybe check tomorrow. I will show you tomorrow how you can do that, okay? So now you're gonna fetch that data in backend, okay? And then you send that data through the local route, means URI, right? And it will work perfectly. We will do that tomorrow. Okay, guys, thank you very much. I will stop here. And if any doubt, you can ask me anytime. But we will continue this process, okay? But just understand how RESTful API works and all that today, right? Just relax and just try to understand. Okay, take break. You guys can run now.